OK, in March we were thrilled with a 0-0 draw in Sweden, but disappointed with a 2-2 draw at home to Austria. But we know Group C is far from decided. Yes, Germany will top the group, but for now Sweden, Austria and ourselves are very much in the running for the runners-up spot. And after the draw with England and the victory yesterday over Georgia, it's fair to say our confidence levels have risen somewhat. Well, we join Tony O'Donoghue now, who has been with the Irish squad in the last week or so. Tony, has there been a noticeable surge in confidence as far as you're concerned within the squad this week?
Hi Peter, yeah, I think you can see it. I think some of the players have grown a few inches in confidence, there's no doubt about that. Goalkeeper David Ford, for example, after his very solid display at Wembley, keeping the England strike force at bay for most of that game, he's got confidence, but that confidence is sweeping through the team. There are 4 end-of-season games, of course, and one of them is next week, tomorrow week indeed, in New York against the world and European champions Spain. To have gone to Wembley and played so well against England and come away with a draw there, having scored a classic goal. And let's be honest, a lot of people did feel that the English players, on paper at least, were of far higher calibre and quality than ours, and they've done themselves really proud there. What they did yesterday against Georgia, okay, against 10 men, but they did what they had to do, a 4-0 win. That's not bad. The only game that really counts, though, will be here at the Aviva next Friday. It's the World Cup qualifier against the Faroe Islands, and it's a game that the team simply have to win. Not only win, but they have to put the goals on the board as well. But I think the confidence factor is certainly there and growing by the day.
Yes, Tony, needless to say, the speculation about the team has started immediately in the aftermath of a good display yesterday against Georgia. Those who were delighted to see Wes Hoolahan start were delighted to see him put in a good performance as well. Are the indications coming from the Irish camp that Wes Hoolahan will start?
Well, we know that James McCarthy and Shane Long are both suspended, of course, and that's going to present a selection difficulty for Trapattoni. Obviously, a lot of people on Wes Hoolahan's case hoping that he'll be the one chosen in central midfield, where he started. It's hard to believe. Yesterday was his first start for Ireland. So I did ask Trapattoni about the Wes Hoolahan issue. The first time I asked him, he referred to Jeff Hendrick. He swerved the question, if you like, but I did ask him again.
No, for example, West Holland is also, we can think also about this midfield in the Faroe.
Would you play Wes with Glenn Whelan then?
Yeah. I think yes. We have also Hendrik. We have a good, in this moment, we have a good chance.
Yeah, not exactly definitive, Giovanni Trapattoni, with regard to the issue of Wes Hoolahan starting. He gave an indication that he may be in the midfield with Glenn Whelan, but he's also mentioned Hendrick. Also, Tony, we believe there's word emanating from the Irish camp that Richard Dunne could start. Is that actually a possibility?
Well, Trapattoni today said that Richard Dunne and Wes Hoolahan were 90% in his thoughts for both of them to start. Now, what a remarkable turnaround for Richard Dunne in particular, because we know he hasn't kicked a football in anger since the European Championships last year. And not only was he looking to prove his fitness to Ireland, I think, to be fair to Richard, he's had such a tough year. He's out of contract at Aston Villa. He had a lot to prove to himself as well.
It's very hard, I suppose, to get a club if you've not played for over a year, so just to come back and show that I am fit and I have been trying. I mean, you know, hopefully it will help, but more than that, it was just great for myself personally, you know, just to my own mental sanity really, that I could actually say that I could play again, and I felt all right, so that was the important thing.
Yes, it was nice to see Richard Dunne coming on in that game yesterday. Tony, thanks for the moment. Just going to have a quick word with the lads in studio before we depart this evening. Stu, first of all, you're a former teammate of Wes Hoolahan's. You're very much aware of his abilities and his talents. Even based on yesterday's performance, do you think Wes will start?
I think he will, yeah. It's very difficult to tell what way Trapattoni is thinking. We've seen it in the past. You know, it's very, very difficult to see what way he will go. But despite yesterday's performance, I think he should be starting anyway. I think he's been excellent anytime he has played. I think he's handled the whole situation very well. There's been an awful lot of speculation about him playing. There's been a lot of pressure from the media to play Wesley Hoolahan. The one thing Wes has done really well is he hasn't bought into that hype. He's got his head down and he's gotten on with his job. And ultimately, yesterday's performance, he was world class. He was absolutely excellent and deserves to start on Friday.
Yeah, he played a brand of football that we all certainly enjoyed watching, Tony. And what about the Richard Dunne situation? I know you wanted to talk about Wes as well, but Richard Dunne, do you think that's an unusual line that we're hearing that he may play?
I didn't expect it, so is it unusual with Giovanni Trapattoni? I'm not so sure, but I certainly didn't expect it. I mean, as much as you would say Richard has been colossal for us in the past, he hasn't played a competitive game for a year. So to ask him to come in an international match is a big ask. It is the Faroes, but they're an international team, and you know it is going to be tough competition no matter what team that we play against. So I think it's a challenge. I would be very surprised if he starts, but then if it's a 90% chance, I guess there's every possibility that he's going to line him out at centre half. But I would find it incredible. That's a more incredible story for me than Wes playing on Friday.
Yeah, you know, we're expecting the 3 points against the Faroe Islands without being overconfident or cocky. I mean, we have to win that game and then for the rest of the group. But the way this squad is evolving, Stewie, do you think as this campaign goes on that this Ireland squad is actually now getting stronger and we still have a chance?
We do still have a chance, yeah. I think there's definitely been a mind shift ever since the situation, you know, over Trapattoni's job. Was he going to go? Was he not going to go? And then the FAI stepped in and had a little word. There's been a mind shift, changing the dynamic. Seamus Coleman has come into the team. He's looking to bring Wes Hewlett into the team. He's looked to give more responsibility to James McCarthy. I think there's a difference the way we play. We're a little bit more. We're looking to get the ball down. We're looking to play. David Ford, as Tony has said, I think he's been absolutely outstanding for us. He's given real certainty to the back four, and we are looking now as good as we've ever looked in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and finally and briefly, Tony, I know sometimes you feel that Giovanni Trapattoni gets a bit of a hard deal from the media at times.
I just think even after yesterday's game, there's a lot of people talking about the fact that, you know, it was a nothing game. Georgia were down to 10 men. Then it was talk around the fact that, well, he didn't play the team that might be starting on Friday, so what value is it? When he was playing the players who were starting in competitive games, people were saying, well, why isn't he giving his fringe players a look so as we know what they're capable of? So it seems to me that he's on a hiding to nothing whatever he does, and I think the team performed well yesterday. They did, as Tony said, did all that was asked for them, and even the things that you could pick out in the game, like Wes getting on the ball from the central defenders, turning, that's the only thing I would say about, I'm not so sure he will play in that position on Friday, because Trapattoni doesn't look for that from his midfielder, so I can't see him doing it in a competitive game.
Yes, well, we certainly wait with bated breath to see exactly what starting 11 Giovanni Trapattoni picks for this crucial World Cup qualifier on Friday. But for Monday Night Soccer, that's all we have time for this week. My thanks to Tony and Stewie for joining us in studio this evening. When we next convene, hopefully, we'll be 3 points closer to our World Cup dream.